Everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Lydia here with your full moon reading in Pisces. And this is a very interesting moon because it's the second moon in August that we have. So it's called a blue moon, but we also have it as a super moon. And it's rare because it is at its heightened perigee, which is the closest, supposedly the closest it is to the Earth at the time of the full moon. So it's going to appear massive in comparison. It's actually, this time period is rare because of the fact that it wasn't like this um, except for 27 years ago. So at the time that it's at its perigee, we are not going to see this again in basically until 92 years from this time around. So this is a very cool time period. It's I guess, twice in a lifetime possibly thing for people, or a once in a lifetime thing for people. So I think this is going to be a very cool moon, but it also is interesting just because I was saying this before in the last reading, the new moon reading, that we are sandwiched. We were sandwiched basically between two full moons and in the new moon reading that I had done. Now, considering that there's a lot of aspects that are, or astrological aspects that are affecting us at this time, and I encourage you to look at your favorite astrology reading to get that information. But basically, we are in a very heightened energy state at this particular time, and you can tell just because of what's going on everywhere in the world. What happens within always happens on the outside. This is something that has always been this way. And everything that is going on the inside, whether it's turmoil or things that are bothering you, things that have you going over what it is that you've done in your past, which you shouldn't ruminate about, but basically if you're analyzing it so that you can see how you can improve going forward, that's a beneficial thing. Or dealing with fears that you have had in the past or in past lives, if we want to call it that, and bringing it to the fore so that you can deal with it now and get obliterated so that you can have peace in your heart. There are a lot of things going on with that, plus of course a multitude of other things. So what we are feeling on the inside is being shown on the outside. We are seeing a lot of chaos in every aspect. But the other thing that is happening at the same time, and this is something I want to draw your attention to, is that our spiritual development is rising double fold at this time. Anything that is happening within the media, number one, question it. Number two, discern what is real and what is not, what is truth and what is not. And three, ensure that it's only just a front that you're looking at. You're just getting knowledge of it, but not internalizing anything that's happening, all the dramatic experiences that are happening and the sorrow that is out there. I want you to think about compassion at this time. Compassion is key. And the full moon is in the sign of Pisces, which is very compassionate. Pisces is also very heightened spiritually and very dreamy. So it's a perfect connection with this full moon. Thinking also what I said before about releasing any fears, releasing any dramas or attachments to drama, or any painful things that you've dealt with. Let it go at this time. This is also a great time to just deconstruct your house or deconstruct your environment so that you can get rid of things that you don't need anymore. This is a perfect opportunity to let go. So I have picked 3 cards for our reading today. And one, we have the first couple cards are from the Moonology deck by Yasmin Boland, which is a tried and true one that I always tend to use. And then the other deck that I have that I'm drawing a card from is the Wisdom of the Hidden Realms deck by Colette Baron-Reid, which is a very beautiful deck as well. So let's get started. I have the first card chosen, haven't looked at them. Let's look at them together. So the first one we have is the new moon in Gemini. Think it through. Look at this. It's interesting because I don't think I've ever seen this card before, but if you really look at all the things that are going on in there, it shows some beautiful mountains, like a reflection of beautiful mountains. They're basically reflected against each other. And that is kind of cool just because, like I said, what is happening within is happening on the outside as well. And this is something that I find is something that we have the control over on within us. We have the control over how we react. And if we're able to draw compassion into that reaction, then we might also see some changes on the outside. We do indeed create a reality. We do have a huge influence in this planet of duality. We have a huge influence upon what it is that we see on the outside. What can we do to make things better? And this is on an energetic field. The quantum field is just full of things that we don't understand, for one, but a lot of the things that we've been doing and feeling and sensing, and what we are as humans, as light beings, are basically very connect with the quantum field. So let's look at this. The think it through new moon in Gemini. So thinking it through, I believe what we're going to have to do is be very discerning upon what it is that's maybe coming at us. Watch any type of decisions. This could be a Mercury in retrograde situation here, so that you be very careful on any contracts that are coming up, or any solidified decisioning that you might have to look at. Always look at the fine print and dot your I's, cross your T's as you're going through any documents, legal documents, or anything of that sort. Think things through. The other thing about this is also, when you're about to make a decision, or you're about to say something, because our words are very important at this time, think things through before you actually say something. Take a breath and just, especially if you're in a reaction mode, or giving off an emotional reaction to something that has been presented to you, be very careful before you speak. And just to try, not only just to keep the peace between you and the listener, but also to just be very gentle with what is coming out, especially if you have to deal with a lot of emotional topics. So let's look at the new moon in Gemini and see where we're at with thinking it through. And yeah, let's just do that. The other thing I wanted to mention too is my mind is all over the place. I don't know what is going on, but except for the energies, and I just can't seem to get all the words out. So just bear with me. Anyways, think it through. A positive outcome lies ahead. However, to take this opportunity from the ethers and make it real, you need a positive mindset. On some level, you already know how to get what you want. Use your smarts. Think it through. Look for the signposts about what to do next. Ask, what am I expecting? Focus on positive expectations. Expectations attract. If you're having doubts, talk to someone. Make a list of your goals. There's a way through. Use your mind and your words to help others see things your way. Not to manipulate, but to explain. Manifesting focus. This card is an especially good sign for matters related to a flirtatious situation, anything written, an upset you've had, or a relationship that feels blocked. It's perfect to think things through, like I said, before getting into anything, getting into an argument, for example, thinking things through before heading into that territory is probably best. Manifesting mindset. Expressing whatever's on your mind is always a good idea, but this card also suggests you need to do some inner work and trust your intuition. And intuition is big right now. Absolutely trusting your intuition, especially when you're discerning what is truth and what is not. Manifesting tips to boost your intuition. Call in Archangel Zadkiel, who is associated with compassion and forgiveness, to help you clear a past hurt that could otherwise block you. Call in the energy of the planet Mercury, which guides Gemini, which is interesting because I believe Mercury is either in retrograde or going into retrograde. And that is an introspective type of time period. Perfect timing for this card. Close your eyes and meditate on your desire for at least 5 minutes. What comes up? Write it down. And an affirmation to be said at this particular time: knowledge is powerful, and I am powerful. How wonderful that is too. It's interesting because working on things that you have at this particular time, especially the planning portions of things, is a good idea to start at this time. Instead of this is that part of organizing, thinking it through, thinking a plan through. When it comes to a relationship, this is also a time to kind of just stay the course, allow yourself to kind of ride with the waves. This is not something to look at trying to find a relationship or find something better within the relationship. It's kind of one of those plateaus. And in that plateau, allow yourself to enjoy it. Just be happy where you are. And if you are not in a relationship at this particular time, this is about focusing on you, not necessarily going and looking for someone else. This is a time of introspection, intuition, going into meditation. And in my opinion, this is a perfect time to plan what you want in a partner. If you're looking for someone, this is a time to write down the qualities you want in this person and give it energy and send it up into the ether. Let it go and just let it be. This is a perfect time for magic. So let that start and just kind of brew within you. Let's look at the next card and see what kind of story is going on here. The full moon in Scorpio. Breathe through the tension. Oh, this is beautiful. This is perfect for thinking it through. It's giving you cautions here if you're watching. Breathing through the tension at this time. If there is tension between people, then this is a wonderful way to just step back, be very careful about what it is that you are about to say to them. Like I said, think before speaking, but also be very mindful about where you are at in your body. So physical tension. If you are in a tense moment, and it could very well be at work, it could be in your own environment, walking, it could be anything. If you are tense, take the moment to breathe. Breathing really helps in spades when it comes to healing and bringing in all that oxygen into your cells, just giving it a burst of energy so that you're able to just kind of relax when you're breathing out. Let that tension go. And Scorpio, when you think about we have the new moon in Scorpio, letting go. So literally the first card, letting go, knowing that there are two sides to the story. So thinking it through allows you to be able to accommodate maybe that second, instead of reacting, then that reaction from someone else, if someone else is reacting, just allowing yourself to see the other person's point of view. Now, in this particular card, breathing through the tension, is if there is a tense moment, if you are tense physically, allow yourself the healing parts of the breath in order to let everything go. And it's amazing what you'll find. So let's read this and see what else it says. There's a strong sexual energy around you now. The good news is that sexual energy is very creative. After all, it leads to an act that creates humans. A tense situation could be about to boil over, so go carefully. Time spent outdoors will help you to calm your emotions as well as increasing your general well-being. You need to find a balance between your emotions and your sensual side. Don't deny this part of yourself. Use the energy to create what you want. Oh, this is perfect. Just because when you have this time, at this particular time too, being the full moon, the emotions are very high, and it's a second full moon in the month, so it's even that much higher. So try to be as patient as you can to adopt the peace that you know you can get within you. And that helps with meditation as well, and doing some light exercise or yoga, walking in nature, things like that as well. Manifesting balance, balance your ability to caress with your need to be caressed. And that's giving and receiving as well. Manifesting mindset, when we're emotionally overheated, we end up focusing on what we don't want rather than on what we do want. Bear this in mind now. Breathe. So again, we sometimes kind of use the negative in a fail-safe, and this is one of those times where you really want to actually send those positive vibes out there and think positively, think about what you do want, especially when it comes to money matters too, or material items that are on this 3D dimension. Just being very careful that you do, because you're in a very high manifesting capability at this time. A manifesting ritual for seduction. Add myrrh essential oil to your diffuser. Rest in a comfortable position and close your eyes. Call in Kali, the goddess of Shakti, divine feminine energy, and of facing down your fears. Make sure you're fully in touch with your sensual side. Unspent sexual energy creates blockages to use your imagination. You're manifesting affirmation here. Sexual energy fires me up in a good way and helps me express my creativity too. So that's the other thing about Scorpio. Scorpio has this sensualness about the anybody who is, as well as the fact that they can be very creative. So this is a time kind of drawing upon that Scorpio energy and allowing that sensual energy to just flow through you so that you can create. It's a wonderful time for creating. And creating doesn't necessarily have to mean an action. It doesn't necessarily have to be something that promotes something of a material, but drawing on the first card, thinking things through, this is a great time to plan it, organize it, allow things to just kind of come out of you onto paper. And then at a later time, we'll look into putting that into action or creating the first bits of what's about to come up. And that, like I said, it's about relationships as well. In work, it could be a stagnant time. So this is a wonderful opportunity to organize some things. Organize your desk if you need to too. Organize your house, your environment. Allow things to declutter in your mind and in your environment. So we're going to go on to the last card here, and this is from the Wisdom deck, and it's the River Queen. Flow, letting go, natural movement. So this is lovely. I'm just looking at this. She's a mermaid, and basically the River Queen, allowing things to just flow, to let go, perfect time because it's the full moon, and in natural movement. So in other words, you could be at this particular plateau in a stage of your life, and it's perfect. It's a perfect time to go within, allow yourself to just be, and to let the world, or basically let life flow on life's terms. That's what Colette Baron Reeds actually says as well. So let's look at the River Queen, see what else that this has to say. And I'll do both the upright and challenging position. I'll mention this because I think both will have interesting information. So in the ally position or the upright position, the River Queen flows into your life as an ally to remind you about the concept of allowing and the law of non-attachment. Remember that all rivers come from the mountains and run to the sea to be absorbed by the larger body of water. There, the liquid evaporates into clouds and that rain on the mountains to continue an endless cycle of fluidity. The River Queen requires you to be fluid and to let go of rigidity and perfectionism. You will travel far as long as you let go and let flow, even maneuvering around the greatest blockages, like water streams around big boulders. No obstacles can hold you back now if you're willing to surrender to the natural flow of events. Be easy on yourself and others and watch how smoothly you move forward. You may be surprised where the river takes you. And if it were upside down, the card was brought upside down. This, I think, also has a great bearing for where we are at this time. Turbulent waters and rapids to cross are directly ahead for you. You have no boat to navigate now. It's just you in the water going where it takes you. That said, although the River Queen is your challenger here, she has no intention of letting you go under. Even when there's a waterfall ahead, there is no reason to fear. The River Queen will help you over it, so you can splash down again in the gentle waters of the river below, flowing with renewed purpose to the sea. Be fearless now and go with the current events. This can be an adventure. Now, we know what is happening on the outskirts. What we see that's happening in the world today is very eye-opening, very challenging, sorrowful, can bring a lot of pain and sorrow for what we see others going through, or we may be those people that are going through that. And it is difficult. It is very difficult to just say, let life flow the way that it's supposed to flow. I urge you to look at the other side. And in this card reading, it's also talking about that positive side and looking at that, the alternative to what you see, the grief, the sorrow, the pain, the disruption, the uprooting. Do not become attached to the emotions that can go with that. And this is for people who are involved with the situation as well. If they've lost your house, lost family members from a fire or flood, or if you've basically just recently lost someone, whether it's in a relationship, or you've encountered something that is not exactly something that you find pleasurable. Look at the opposite side of things. Look at the positive side, and what could be positive. If you shake your head and say, oh my gosh, I don't even know if there is a positive side. There always is. There's something that builds you into the courageous individual and builds wisdom within you. We are born with strength and courage, and we just need to tap into that. And sometimes we have to tap into that for other people to help them into getting through what they're going through as well. And that's what this is looking at, is actually going through the flow of the way things are in your life at this time. Like I said, we are going through a very, very life-changing spiritual development at this particular time as we go towards a shift in human consciousness. And because of that, there is going to be chaos. There are going to be things that are uprooted. We are going to see changes. And not only to recognize where we are in this duality of life here on Earth, but also to recognize that we have the capability of helping others in our energetic focus, if we are able to draw upon our own compassion and go within, trusting the intuition that we have on the inside. Go within and bring about that compassion for others and for yourself. Don't let yourself go by. This is a perfect time to allow yourself to take a moment to breathe. Take the time to meditate and to walk in nature, to give yourself the more rest and more sleep if you need to, but also to just recognize what's going on out there. Recognize that you're also going through some changes yourself, and allow this to happen. Organize. Just allow the brain to work its magic and organize your environment, organize the creative projects that you might have going on. And don't feel bad if things aren't moving forward as fast or as quickly as you want them to. It's a time of contemplation too. So allow that to happen. And contemplation is still action. It's still working towards something. The universe knows that you're working towards it, and you're not going to miss out on the boat here. You're basically going to get things done. Just allow yourself the time in planning and organizing. So I hope this helps. And I hope you have a wonderful full moon. Get out there if you can and see it, because it is one of those very rare events where you're going to see a moon this big, this big. And also just knowing if you can see it when it first comes up, then you'll notice that it seems massive along the horizon. So I hope you do have a wonderful time. And if you like this video, please click the like button or subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Go to my website as well, takebackyourpower.live, and sign up for the free newsletter to get a channeled message and or card reading for the week that allows you to get a beautiful message from my guides. So I hope this helps. Thank you for watching, and I will look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now.